There are wounds that pierce deeper than any blade. Betrayal from strangers stings, but betrayal from family carves into the soul like fire into dry wood. It is the very people who promised to stand by you, the ones who should have lifted you when you were weak, that sometimes press you down into the dust. Their silence becomes thunder. Their rejection becomes a prison. Their lies become chains that no man can see, but every night you feel, and perhaps this is your story. You sit quietly, wondering how those bound to you by blood could look at you with contempt. How could they speak words that tear while smiling as though nothing happened? How could they twist truth, whisper behind closed doors, and cover their tracks in shadows, leaving you gasping in disbelief? What they think is hidden, what they believe is covered, is never invisible to God. He sees the whispers they mutter when they believe no one listens. He hears the laughter they share at your expense. He notes the hands that pushed you into storms while pretending to be innocent. But here is a question for your soul. What if betrayal is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a revelation? What if the lies told against you are destined to collapse beneath the weight of God's truth? What if their rejection is not proof of your weakness, but the soil from which your destiny grows? Family betrayal is the most shattering because it violates the sacred. Blood is meant to unite, yet sometimes it becomes the very weapon forged against you. But remember, blood is not the final authority. The one who created you, who fashioned your spirit before your family even knew your name, holds the higher claim. And he will not let their lies have the final word. When a seed is buried underground, it looks like the end. Darkness surrounds it, silence covers it, and no eye sees its struggle. But beneath the soil, something unseen is happening. Roots are forming, strength is building, life is preparing to break through. Betrayal feels like burial. It feels like your voice has been silenced, your truth hidden, your value denied. But in the hiddenness, God is at work. What your family tried to bury, God will resurrect. What they tried to hide, God will reveal. What they twisted, God will untangle in His timing. Do you think the author of truth will allow lies to endure forever? Do you believe the God of justice will sit idly by while deception triumphs? No. The day will come when the masks fall, when the shadows disperse, when the truth roars louder than their whispers. And here is the astonishing mystery. The very people who betrayed you will be forced to watch as God elevates you. They will see the same truth they denied shining like the sun. They will not be able to cover it, silence it, or twist it any longer. So hold on. Even when family wounds leave you trembling. Hold on, even when their rejection makes you question your worth. For God is writing a chapter they cannot erase. He will take what they meant for harm and turn it into a stage for His justice. The betrayal you endured is not the end. It is the setup for revelation. It is the backdrop against which God will display His light. And when He does, the truth will not come in whispers. It will come like thunder. God sees every hidden word and action. There is a temptation when you are betrayed by family to believe that no one knows the full truth. You sit alone, wounded by their words, replaying conversations in your mind, and it seems as if the lies will stand forever. They appear so confident, so secure in their deception, as if their carefully crafted narrative will never unravel. Yet the word written into creation itself is this: nothing hidden remains hidden forever. Nothing whispered in shadows escapes the gaze of the one who sees all things. Think of the way the sun rises. Darkness covers the land, hiding shapes and obscuring details. But when morning comes, every hidden thing is revealed. The shadows vanish, not by effort, but by the sheer force of light. This is how God's sight operates. Even when your family turns their back on you, even when they try to paint you as the problem, God has already seen the intention of every heart. He has heard the words they whispered in the quiet of their rooms. He has read motives they themselves try to bury beneath smiles. He knows the difference between appearance and truth, and He keeps record. Perhaps you have felt that unbearable frustration, the injustice of not being able to defend yourself, of knowing the truth while others believe the lies. You cry, "Why don't they see me? Why don't they see the truth?" But the truth does not depend on their eyes. It depends on His. And His eyes miss nothing. He saw the conversation you never heard. He saw the betrayal you could not prove. He saw the knife in their hands before it pierced your back, and He wrote it all down in His book. There is a sacred comfort here, one that only the wounded can understand. God's sight is justice in waiting. Every hidden action is already exposed before Him. The deceit of your family may fool others, but it cannot fool the Almighty. They may wear masks, but He sees the face beneath. They may craft stories, but He hears the silence between their words. He discerns what is real and what is false, and He holds the final word. Do not mistake His silence for absence. Do not confuse His patience with neglect. Sometimes He waits because He is allowing their arrogance to ripen until the fruit of their betrayal collapses under its own weight. Sometimes He waits because He is preparing a greater revelation than you could imagine. But He never fails to see. And in seeing, He never fails to act in His perfect time. When Joseph's brothers betrayed him, they sold him into slavery and thought the matter closed. They covered their guilt with blood-stained clothes and lies told to their father. To the human eye, Joseph's story looked buried. Yet God saw every word they spoke, every exchange of silver, every deceitful smile, and years later, the truth surfaced in a way no one could deny. Their betrayal was exposed, and Joseph's destiny rose beyond their imagination. This is the pattern you must hold on to. God is not blind to betrayal. He is not deaf to injustice. He is not indifferent to your pain. The tears you cry in silence are as loud in His throne room as thunder on the earth. The lies they whisper are louder still in His ears. Nothing is hidden, nothing is lost, nothing is ignored. And because He sees all, you can rest knowing truth will not remain buried forever. Betrayal is a setup for revelation. It is difficult, almost impossible, to see betrayal as anything but destruction. When family wounds you, when their rejection cuts through your heart, it feels like an end. The story seems closed, the curtain fallen. But in the divine order, betrayal is not a conclusion, it is a stage. It is a platform upon which God reveals Himself more clearly than you could have ever known otherwise. The human mind says betrayal is loss, but heaven calls it preparation. Think of the seed pressed deep into the soil. To the eye above it looks finished. The ground has swallowed it. No sound, no movement, no beauty remains, yet the burial is not destruction. It is preparation for a rising. Without the burial, there can be no breakthrough. Without the crushing weight of the soil, the seed would never learn to push upward toward the light. In the same way, betrayal feels like burial, but it is the divine preparation for revelation. Your family may have rejected you, spoken lies against you, or turned others' hearts away from you. They may believe they have silenced you, that their betrayal has locked you into obscurity. But it is in this silence that God begins His most extraordinary work. The very betrayal meant to cover the truth becomes the womb of His revelation. When the moment comes, He does not merely restore what was lost, he reveals truth in a way that cannot be denied. Consider how often in Scripture betrayal preceded revelation. Joseph's brothers betrayed him, and that betrayal became the path to the throne of Egypt, where the truth of who he was could no longer be denied. David was hunted by Saul, a betrayal of trust and loyalty, yet in the wilderness God revealed his anointing and prepared him for kingship. Even the betrayal of Christ by Judas, the darkest act of treachery in history, became the very stage upon which resurrection was revealed. Each betrayal, though cruel, opened the door to divine unveiling. This is why you must not despair. What feels like your family's final word is not the final word at all. Their betrayal is the stage. Their lies are the backdrop. Their rejection is the silence before the revelation. And when God steps onto that stage, he reveals not only the truth of your innocence, but the truth of his justice, his faithfulness, his unshakable presence. The revelation is not just about clearing your name. It is about God showing that no betrayal can overturn his design. It is about him proving that their rejection cannot cancel his choice. It is about demonstrating that though human voices may silence you for a season, his voice is louder, stronger, undeniable. When he reveals, it is not partial, it is complete. When he exposes, it is not in whispers, it is in thunder. And when he elevates, it is not in secret, it is in the open, where even those who betrayed you must watch. So hold on when the betrayal feels unbearable. Hold on when the silence is heavy and the lies grow louder. For betrayal is never the end. It is always the setup. And when the time is full, revelation will come, and all will see the truth that could not be buried. Their masks cannot last forever. There is something strangely powerful about deception. For a season, it works. Lies wear masks, and those masks can be convincing. Your family may have worn the mask of concern while plotting your downfall. They may have smiled to your face while twisting the knife behind your back. They may have pretended to protect you while secretly protecting themselves. To everyone else, they appear innocent, respectable, even righteous, but no mask ever lasts forever in the presence of truth. Masks require energy to maintain. They demand constant performance, endless adjustments, and careful rehearsals. But eventually the cracks begin to show. The smile falters. The story shifts. The eyes betray what the lips cannot say. And in that moment, the mask begins to slip. That is the nature of all lies. They cannot endure. They may appear strong for a time, but like a wall built of sand, they eventually collapse beneath the pressure of reality. God allows these masks to remain for a season, not because he delights in injustice, but because he knows time will expose what human eyes cannot. He is patient, not because he is passive, but because his timing ensures that when the mask falls, no one can deny it. If he removed it too soon, some might argue. If he exposed it too early, others might excuse it. But when his timing is full, the revelation is undeniable. This is why you should not grow weary when it seems like they are getting away with it. The smiles they wear are temporary. The stories they tell are fragile. They cannot uphold deception forever. For even in the natural, darkness cannot hide from light. A candle placed in a cave eventually pushes back the shadows. A sunrise cannot be delayed by human hands. So too the light of God's truth is irresistible. It presses against the masks until they crumble under its weight. And here is the deeper mystery. Sometimes God even allows those masks to grow bolder, the lies to stretch further, and the pretense to become more elaborate. Why? Because the greater the mask, the greater the shock when it falls. The wider the web, the more devastating when it tears. The more elaborate the deception, the more undeniable the truth when it comes forth. Think of Saul pursuing David. For years, Saul wore the mask of a king chosen by God, all while consumed by jealousy and rage. To the people, he still appeared the anointed leader, but as time passed, the mask slipped. His irrational behavior, his bitterness, his relentless pursuit of David all revealed what had been hidden. By the time God exposed him, no one could deny the truth. Your family may still wear their masks today. They may pretend righteousness while harboring envy. They may act loving while nurturing bitterness. But every mask is fragile, and God's hand will not allow it to endure forever. The moment will come when their pretenses fail them, when the truth seeps through, when the hidden becomes visible. And in that moment, you will see what you always knew, that the mask was only temporary, but God's truth is eternal. God will vindicate you publicly. There is a peculiar pain in being falsely accused or rejected by family. It is not simply the wound of words, but the weight of silence that follows. Others believe them, others side with them, and you, though innocent, feel as if you are standing in the shadows, unseen and unheard. But hear this truth: God does not vindicate in secret. When his time comes, he vindicates openly before those who doubted, before those who lied, before those who watched silently as you suffered. Vindication is not just about being proven right. It is about God showing that his hand was on you all along. He lifts you not behind closed doors, but in the very presence of those who betrayed you. It is as though he says, "You thought their voice was final, but mine is greater. You thought their lies would stand, but my truth overturns them." He does not only restore what you lost, he elevates you in a way that demands acknowledgement, even from your enemies. Think of Joseph again. His brothers betrayed him, sold him, erased his presence from the family. They assumed his story was over. Yet when God lifted Joseph, it was not in obscurity. It was in Pharaoh's court, where the entire land had to recognize the one they had rejected. And when famine drove those very brothers to Egypt, they bowed before the brother they once despised. That is vindication. Not whispered behind curtains, but shouted on the stage of history. This is the pattern of God. He does not vindicate you in ways that can be ignored. He vindicates in ways that force acknowledgement. The family who lied will see the truth. The relatives who mocked will watch his favor rest on you. The ones who rejected you will be unable to deny his blessing on your life. He ensures that vindication is not just about clearing your name, but about magnifying his justice. And perhaps this is why the wait feels so long. You wonder, why doesn't he act now? Why doesn't he silence their lies today? But vindication requires the right setting. It must happen in the place where those who betrayed you cannot turn away, where those who doubted cannot deny, where those who despised you must witness the truth. Vindication is not simply personal, it is divine theater. It is God showing not just to you, but to them that his hand is the final authority. Imagine the day your family sees what God has done with your life. Imagine the silence in their hearts when the very blessing they tried to bury rises before their eyes. Imagine the weight of realization when the truth they tried to suppress becomes undeniable. That is vindication. Not whispered, not partial, but open and public. So trust him when the shadows grow long. Trust him when their lies grow louder. For the God who vindicated Joseph, the God who lifted David, the God who raised Christ after betrayal, will vindicate you too. And when he does, no one will be able to deny it. Your pain is not wasted. Pain is never random in the hands of God. Though betrayal from family cuts deep, though rejection feels unbearable, though lies suffocate the heart, not a single tear you have cried has been wasted. Every sigh, every restless night, every ache in your chest has been counted. Your pain, though it feels like it is draining life from you, is actually shaping life within you. What you thought would break you is quietly building you. When family wounds you, you wrestle with questions that few can understand. Why me? Why would they of all people turn against me? Why must my love be answered with cruelty? These are questions soaked in pain, but they are not without purpose. God allows certain sufferings because He knows they become the very furnace that refines the soul. Your pain is not the end of you, it is the tool He uses to strengthen you. Think of gold. In its raw form, gold is mixed with dirt, stones, and impurities. It has value, but that value is hidden. Only through the fire is the gold refined, its brilliance uncovered, its strength revealed. So too with your soul. The betrayal you endured feels like fire, but within that fire, impurities of doubt, fear, and dependence on others are being burned away. You are being purified, not destroyed. You are being revealed, not erased. Your family's betrayal is not wasted because it is teaching you what human loyalty cannot guarantee. It is teaching you that true security cannot be built on fragile relationships of flesh and blood, but only on the unshakable foundation of God Himself. It is teaching you to stand alone if you must, but never apart from Him. It is teaching you to recognize His voice above the clamor of human lies, His love above the absence of theirs. There is also a mystery in suffering. It draws you nearer to God than comfort ever could. Pain strips away illusions. It removes the masks of others, but it also removes the masks within yourself. In the loneliness of betrayal, you learn to cling to God with a desperation you may never have known otherwise. And in that clinging, He reveals Himself more deeply, more tenderly, more powerfully than before. Your pain is also a testimony in the making. Others may not see it now, but one day they will look at your life and recognize that it was precisely in the season of betrayal that your spirit became unshakable. The scars you carry will speak louder than the words of your family. They will testify not to your weakness, but to the God who sustained you. So let the pain do its work. Do not despise it. Do not waste it by sinking into bitterness. Instead, recognize it as the hand of the refiner, the brush of the artist, the tool of the builder. He is shaping you into something that could not exist without the fire. He is writing into your life a depth, a wisdom, a resilience that comfort could never give. Your family may believe they broke you, but in truth, they only pressed you into the hands of the one who makes all things new. And when He has finished, you will rise, not as the broken one, but as the refined, the strengthened, the unshakable child of God. Love is not greater than spirit. Family ties are powerful. The bond of blood carries weight, expectation, and belonging. Yet when betrayal comes from within your own bloodline, it shakes you to your core. You ask, how could they? Aren't we family? It feels as though blood itself has betrayed you. But here is a profound truth. Though blood is strong, spirit is stronger. The Spirit of God binds you to a greater family, an eternal family, one that betrayal cannot touch. It is a painful realization, but necessary. Being related by blood does not guarantee loyalty, love, or truth. Cain and Abel shared blood, yet Cain's jealousy led to murder. Joseph and his brothers shared blood, yet envy drove them to betrayal. Even Christ's own family doubted Him before His glory was revealed. This is the reality. Blood may connect you to people, but spirit connects you to God. and spirit is the higher bond. When your family rejects you, you must remember you are not defined by their acceptance. You are not defined by their recognition. Your true identity is not given by them, but by the Spirit of God who breathed life into you. They may call you names, but He calls you chosen. They may dismiss you, but He declares you His child. They may try to erase you, but He has written your name on the palms of His hands. Spirit surpasses blood because spirit speaks of destiny. Family may not understand your calling, they may resist it, mock it, or even fight against it, but the Spirit affirms it, empowers it, and protects it. No matter what they do, they cannot alter what the Spirit has already ordained. Your destiny was not written in the bloodline of men, it was written in the breath of God. This truth also brings healing. You are not alone. Though your earthly family may betray you, the Spirit of God has placed you into a greater family, a spiritual family of believers, of brothers and sisters who share faith deeper than genetics. These bonds are not fragile, for they are forged by the Spirit Himself. You may lose connection with those of blood, but you gain connection with those of spirit, and their love is not tainted by envy, pride, or deceit. And this perhaps is why God allows the betrayal of family, so that you may learn to root your identity in spirit rather than in blood. If family always supported you, you might confuse their approval with your worth. If they always lifted you, you might mistake their strength for your foundation. But when they betray you, you discover the higher bond. You learn that spirit defines you when blood forsakes you. It is not easy, the wound runs deep, but when you embrace this truth, freedom enters your heart. You no longer beg for recognition from those who cannot see your value. You no longer chase approval from those blind to your destiny. You stand firm, knowing spirit outweighs blood, destiny outweighs rejection, and truth outweighs lies. So do not despair when family fails you. You belong to something greater, a family eternal, a bond unbreakable. Blood may betray, but spirit will never forsake. The truth will outshine the lies. Lies are loud, but truth is louder. For a time, deception can cloud the eyes of others. It can twist reality, poison relationships, and silence your voice. But no lie endures forever. Lies are like smoke, thick, suffocating, and blinding for a moment, but they cannot remain. Eventually the wind of God's Spirit blows and the smoke clears. What is left standing in the open light is truth, unchanging, undeniable, eternal. Your family may have tried to bury the truth. They may have woven stories so convincing that even you began to question yourself. They may have acted as if their words carried more weight than your integrity, more power than your heart. But remember this: truth does not need defense. It does not require endless explanations or arguments. Truth stands on its own. It waits patiently, silently, until the moment comes when God Himself declares, "Enough, enough," and in that moment, the lies collapse. This is not just a spiritual promise, it is the very nature of reality. Darkness cannot extinguish light, it can only delay its arrival. When light appears, darkness flees instantly. Lies are darkness, and God's truth is light. They may seem strong now, but they are only waiting for His light to appear, and when it does, the lies scatter, powerless to resist. Look at the story of Joseph. For years, the lies of his brothers seemed to define him. To his father, Joseph was gone, devoured by wild beasts. To the world, Joseph was a slave, forgotten in prison. Lies had silenced his story. But when God's time came, truth burst forth. The dream Joseph once shared, the destiny his brothers despised, stood openly before them, They could no longer deny it. The truth outshone the lies. This is what God promises for you. The betrayal of family may have buried you for a season, but the truth is not lost. The truth of your heart, your worth, your calling, it lives. And when God chooses, He will bring it forth in a way no one can resist. Those who once believed the lies will be forced to reckon with the truth. Those who tried to hide it will see it revealed before their very eyes. There is a divine reversal coming. The lies that once covered you will become the very stage upon which truth shines brightest. For the louder the lies, the more dramatic their collapse, the deeper the betrayal, the greater the revelation of God's justice. And the darker the shadows, the brighter the light when it finally comes. So do not grow weary under the weight of deception. Do not allow their falsehoods to define you. Walk with quiet confidence, knowing that truth has its appointed hour. It may not come when you want it, but it will come at the perfect time, God's time. And when it does, it will shine so brightly that even those who despised you will have no choice but to see. The truth will not whisper, it will roar. The truth will not tremble, it will stand. And when it shines, no lie will remain. So here you are, wounded by family, scarred by betrayal, crushed by words spoken in secret. They thought they had silenced you. They believed they could bury the truth and walk away unchallenged. But they forgot one thing. God is the author of truth, and He will never let deception have the final word. He saw every hidden action. He allowed betrayal, not as your destruction, but as the stage for revelation. He let the masks remain for a time, but He has already set the hour when they will fall. And when He vindicates you, it will not be in secret. It will be in the open, before the very ones who tried to erase you. Your pain has not been wasted. It has refined you, shaped you, and drawn you nearer to the heart of God. Blood may have failed you, but spirit has claimed you. Family may have betrayed you, but destiny has not abandoned you. And when all is said and done, the truth will shine. It will shine brighter than the lies, louder than the betrayal, stronger than the rejection. And when it shines, your enemies will have no choice but to see the hand of God upon you. Take courage then, do not despair. For the betrayal you endured is not the end of your story. It is the prologue. And the next chapter is already being written by the hand of the one who never lies, never forsakes, and never forgets. God will reveal the truth they tried to hide, and when He does, all will see that what they meant for harm, He has turned into glory.